Hi guys, my name is Himanshu and today we will be discussing about storage in Azure. So to start with, let me share my screen and let me log in into the Azure portal. So to log in with the Azure portal, we need to log in portal.azure.com. So I will select my account. I will enter my password. Click on yes. So this is the main page of the Azure portal, and let me quickly create one resource group. I will create my resource group with the name TC underscore East underscore USA, and I will select the region East USA. Click on create. I will use the subscription as pay as you go, and my resource group is this one. The region is East US. Click on review plus create. Now validation is passed. I will click on create. So my resource group is complete. It is created. Now I will click on home and I will go on I will select this option storage accounts. Now to create a storage account, click on create. Subscription pay as you go. Resource group, the recently I have created TC underscore East underscore USA, and then it asks for the storage account name. So we need to remember, we need to provide the storage account name in small letters only. So I will give the name as TC East USA JRRM. Region is correct. Now I see here that in performance option we have two options. One is standard and one is the premium one. So what is the difference? Let's see. If I select standard performance option, I get 4 services. Later on in my presentation I will show you. But if I select the standard performance option, I get 4 redundancies. One is local redundant storage, which we call as LRS, geo redundant storage, which we call as GRS, zone redundant storage, in the short form we call it as ZRS, and then we have the fourth option, geo zone redundant storage, we call as GZRS. So let me share my presentation. So in Azure storage we get, if we select standard performance option, we get basically then we get 4 redundancies: LRS, GRS, ZRS and GZRS. I will go through each of the options one by one. But if we select the premium option, what we get? We get basically 3 types of account types. One is block blob, file share and page blob. Like in my presentation, if you see here, if we select premium option, we get 3 type of services: blocks blob, file share and page blobs. But if we select standard, we get 4 type of services. One is blobs, files, tables and queues. We will come to these options later on, but first we need to understand this thing. Like if I select this option standard one, then in the redundancy tab I see 4 things: LRS, GRS, ZRS, GZRS. So what are these things? Let's try to understand it. So let me open my presentation here. So if we talk about local redundant zone, LRS, then if we see this presentation, whenever we create one storage account, we get 3 copies of that storage account, and these 3 copies of the storage account are kept in a primary region in LRS. And when we talk about zone redundant storage, which we call as ZRS, we get 3 copies of the storage account, but we get in 3 availability zones. So what is meant by data center? What are availability zone? What is primary region? Let's take a look on this. Let me share one slide with you. So the source reference is this link, docs.microsoft.com. And now let's see. When we talk about a data center, what happens in data center? We have racks, and let's say this is our rack. In this rack we have server 1, server 2 and server 3. So we call them as update domain. And this rack, this is first rack, so we call it rack 1, and we will call it as fault domain. So in data center we can have another rack, we can have multiple racks. So if this is a rack 2, we will call it as a fault domain 2, and these servers, server 1, server 2, server 3, will be known as update domain. So when we have multiple racks, they makes a data center. So we can have multiple data centers like data center 1, data center 2, and these data centers makes a availability zone. Like availability zone 1, we can have one data center 2, then we can have another availability zone, then third availability zone. So these availability zone together constitutes a region, and in a region we can have up to 3 availability zones. And like we have one region in South India, we can have another region in West India side, and these, like in South India, we can have 3 availability zones. So, and when together, the regions constitutes a geography. All right. So let's understand this first concept of locally redundant storage, which we call it as LRS. So when we create an account, like here, if I use standard performance and I select locally redundant option, so what will happen? I will get 3 of my accounts get created. I will get 3 copies of my account. So all these my account will be in a one data center in my primary region. And if I select the option ZRS, if I will select this option ZRS here, then what will happen? I will get, when I will create my storage account, then I will get 3 copies. So one copy will be in the first availability zone, another copy will be in second availability zone, and third copy will be in third availability zone. And we need to understand that when we talk about availability zone, it means these data centers in this availability zone will be in separate physical location, and they will have independent power, cooling and networking. So when we select ZRS, we get these options. And when I will select this option GRS, so what will happen when I will select this option GRS? I will again get 3 storage accounts, 3 copies of my storage account in a one data center like LRS, and I will have a backup of this storage account in secondary region. I will when I will create my GRS account, then what will happen? I will get 3 copies in the primary region and 3 copies in the secondary region. But in the secondary region, I will have 3 copies. And when I will select this option, GZRS, then what will happen? Let's understand from here. Again I will get 3 copies of my storage account, but these 3 copies will be in different availability zones. It is not like that in GRS it will be in a same availability zone, in a same data center, in a same region. These will be in a different local availability zone, and as a backup I will get the 3 copies of the storage account in the secondary region, but these 3 copies will be in a same data center. So that is the concept of all these 4 options that we get, like LRS, ZRS, GRS and RAGRS. So now if we select premium account, then what happens? I get specifically 3 services: block blobs, file share and page blobs. And when actually the thing is, when we select this standard option, redundancy is fine, but I get 4 services. In standard performance we get blobs, files, tables and queues, but when I select this premium option I get 3 services, as we can see from here: page blobs, file share, block blobs, file share and page blobs. And let's see the redundancy model as well. I have shared it here. When we specifically choose for page blobs, we only get LRS, but when we select for block blobs and file share services, we get 2 redundancy options. One is LRS and one is ZRS. I can show you. Like block blobs, we get 2 redundancy options. If I select file shares, I get 2 options, LRS and ZRS. And if I select page blobs, I get only 1 LRS option. If I specifically go for the premium service, if I will go with the standard, I will get 4 of the services: blobs, file share, tables and queues. Now let's go to next step. Again I will go on next, review plus create. Let the validation be passed, and now I will click on create. So the deployment has been submitted and it is in the process of creation. Let this account created, and let me go to my presentation. In this video, we will discuss about the managed disk and unmanaged disk as well in the later section. Let's understand this. What is blobs? Blobs are binary large object in which we can save unstructured data. When we talk about blobs, we get 3 options: block blob, page blob and append blob. So when we say that unstructured data, we talk about block blobs, in which we talk about JPG files, AVI files. But when we talk about page blobs, we talk about VHD files that are related to specific to the virtual machine files. And what are these virtual machine files in the page blobs? Actually, what happens is, when we create a virtual machine that are in which we select the option unmanaged disk, so we need to define the storage account, and in that storage account those VHD files are stored. So that is the relevance of the page blobs. But now what happens is, whenever we create the virtual machine, we generally do not manage it ourselves. Rather, we let these hard disk drives managed by the Microsoft only. The reason is, let me show you one more thing here. The reason is, When we create a storage account, in one subscription, when we can create up to 250 storage accounts, and the thing is that maximum size of the storage account can be 500 terabyte, and the thing is that the maximum IOPS one storage account can support is 20,000, and one virtual machine can support maximum 500 IOPS. So when we talk about unmanaged hard disk drives, it means we cannot have more than 40 virtual machines in one storage account. So that is the relevance of this page blob, because it is used to store VHD files, and these VHD files are the hard disk drive files of the virtual machines that we create in Azure, and these are managed by Azure administrator only. These are not managed by the Microsoft ones. Then we talk about the file shares. These file shares are just to map the network drive, like the file servers. When we create shares, and then users, the users, when they access the map network drive, this file service is similar to that only. Now see, my deployment is complete. Go to resource. What I see here, I will get 4 type of services. Let's wait. Yes, now it has come. This is blob services, file services, queue services, and table services. So in the blob services, we get 3 services: blob, block blobs, page blob, and the third one is append blob. We will come to all these things one by one. Before I proceed, I just want to show, like, if I would have opted for premium option and I would have selected the block blobs, I would have definitely get 2 redundancy, LRS and GRS. And when I would have created this account, then what I would have got, let me show you here. The way I selected the standard services, I get all the 4 services. But if I would have gone with the premium service, then I would have, after the creation of the storage account, I would have got this thing. Let me share with you. This would have been the screen. Only the blob services I would have got. And if I would have selected for the page blob in the premium service, I would have got the blob services, but this would again be a page blob. And then if I would have selected the file services as a premium service, then I would have got only file services. But since I have selected the standard performance model, then I have got 4 services like this: blob service, file service, queue service, and table service. So now let's click on blob service and see what we get. Basically, blob is a kind of a container. So let me click on plus container option. Let me quickly create one container, and I will give this name as TC East USA GRRM blob storage. Let me click on create, and see the public access level I have selected as private. Now I will click on create. So this is a kind of a container that I have created with this name. Now let me click on this one. In this container, what I am going to upload, let me click on upload option, and now I will show you what we get. So here we can upload unmanaged things like JPG files, AVI files, anything. But let me show you one thing here. Let me click on advanced option. So here we get 3 options: block types. Blob types, one can be block blob. here we can save any unmanaged data like any file related to JPG, AVI. If I will select page blob, then I will get the type of files that I can upload in this container will be VHD files. And if I select this append blob, generally this option is used when we store log files that we use that are supposed to be appended only. So in that case we use append blob. So if I will use blob, what happens is I get some options. Let me share my presentation and then we can proceed. So in blob services we get three options: blob, page blob and append blob. I will come to these options, files, queues and tables, later on, but let me first go with this blob option. So in the blob option we see we can have maximum 50,000 blocks. Let me share my presentation here, in which maximum size of a blob, maximum number of blocks in blob is 50,000. See here, and the maximum size can be of one block in a blob can be 100 MB. Let's see here. It can go up to 100 MB. So what will happen? See, in a blob we cannot have more than 50,000 blocks. So if we select option 4 MB, then how much space we will get? We will get approximately 195 GB. And if we select 100 MB, one block size, we will get around 4 terabyte, 4 point something terabyte of the space. 4.78 terabyte. And if we select append blob of 4 MB, we will get approximately 195 GB of the space. Alright, so let's select this option 4 MB and let me select some blob here. I will select one file to upload. I will select this file, click on OK. Let me click here on upload, but before uploading we have this access tier. I will come to this concept later because this is also very important concept. We get three type of tiers: hot tier, cool tier and archive tier. So what are these tiers? Let's discuss. So what happens is, when we select hot tier, we can access data frequently for our day-to-day use scenarios, and Microsoft charge $1248. It is the annual price per year. So what happens is, when we store the data, Microsoft charges this much amount per year, and when we retrieve the data, if I have to download the file, that it will be free of cost. But if I will select the cold tier, then what will happen? I have to keep my data, store my data minimum for 30 days, and the charges will be low for storing the data. That would be $912. But the thing is, when I have to retrieve that data, I will be charged at 0.010 per GB. And if I will talk about archive tier, there is an offline tier, and minimum for the minimum days I have to keep my data is 180 days, and I will be charged $120, and per GB I need to pay $0.20. So that is the charge I need to pay. So let's go back to our Azure portal now. So I will choose here hot tier and let me click on upload. And see, I have used, now my blob is upload. Alright, so let me click on this JPG file. This is the URL. Let me copy this URL, and let me try to open this one. So when I try to open it, it has given me this error. Why? Let's see. So when I let me see what see now, if I click on change access level, it is a private access. So if I want to access it, I need to make it anonymous lead user for blobs. Now let me click on OK. Let me again hit enter and see I am able to access this blob. Let me close it. Alright. Now let me delete this. Alright, that has been deleted. Now let me again click on upload option. Now what I will do, let me select this option. I will go with the page blob. I'm not going with the blob option. I will go with the page blob, and let me try to upload one JPG file once again. See, when I use this option page blob, I am not able to upload it, because when we talk about page blob, we can only upload VHD files. So this means that if I am trying to upload the JPG file, I will not be able to upload it. Now let me show you the VHD file. VHD file is basically extension of the hard disk drive files. VHD, virtual hard disk. See, now I haven't got the error. Let me click on let this option be highlighted. Let me refresh it once. Now this is highlighted. Let me click on upload. See, we are able to upload this file. Alright, let me delete it. Alright, now let me go back to my storage account once again, and now we will see the file services. As of now, we just saw about blob service. Now we will click on file service. Let's see what happens. Now I will create one file share. To create a file share, let me click on here, and I will give it a name, TC East USA GRM file share, and let me click on create. So let's see how this works actually. So this file share has been created. Now I will try to move it, but it has a very high quota, 5 TB. Let me reduce it to 5 GB. See, now I have changed the quota of this file share. So file share is used to map as a drive on the computers. So let me quickly create a virtual server first. But to create a virtual server, let me first create a virtual network. Click on create. I will select the resource group as TC underscore east underscore USA, and I will give name of my network as TC underscore east underscore USA underscore network A, in which I am going to use a series of IP address 10. Okay, 10.0.0.0/16, and let me add one subnet for this. Subnet I will use TC underscore east USA underscore network underscore A underscore subnet underscore A, here like this /24. I will click on add, next, review plus create, let the validation be passed. Now I will click on create. Once my virtual network will be created, then I will install one virtual machine over here. So the deployment is in progress. Just wait for some time. It is complete. Now let me click one virtual machine. To create a virtual machine, let me click here on the virtual machines. Click on create. I will select the resource group TC underscore east underscore USA. I will give name of my virtual machine as Solo 3071 here. Availability zone I don't need as of now. Standard configuration, yes, 1 vCPU and 1 GB is fine for me as of now. Let me give it a name, TC underscore admin. Password I will use PSWRD@123. PSWRD@123. Alright. Port RDP port is open. Now let me click on disk. Guys, here I get 3 models, but I will select for the standard hard disk drive because that has the lowest price. Now when I am creating this hard disk drive, this is the managed hard disk because Microsoft will be managing my hard disk drive. But if I click here and I click like use manage, if I uncheck it, it will ask me in which storage account I want to create my own hard disk drive. So I already have a storage account with the name TC East USA JLRM. So if I will select this option and I click on next for the network settings, and when the virtual machine will be created, then that hard disk drive will not be a managed disk, that would be a unmanaged disk. I will come to that later, but let's go through the go with the managed disk first. Now click on next. Now I will select this network A, click on next, 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 review plus create, let the validation be passed. Let me remove this space. Let me again click on review plus create. Validation is passed. Now let me click on create. Now let this virtual machine be created. So once this virtual machine will be created, then I will share with you how to attach a drive, that is file share, with the server. So the deployment is in the process. So meanwhile it is in the process, let's go to our storage account. Now if we talk about the file services, let me click over here. So this is my file share that I have created, and it is empty. There is nothing in this file share. See, my virtual machine has been created. So if I have to connect to this file share, I need to click here, connect, and see, this is the script that I need to run in one of my virtual machine, where I actually wanted to get this file share mapped, and if I want to access it. So let me copy it, let me paste it in a notepad first, and now we will run this script on one of the virtual machine that we have recently created. So here is my virtual machine. Let's log in into it. Click on connect, RDP, download RDP file, open, click on connect. Now I will enter my credentials. Click on yes. Let me open the file explorer. So guys, what we see here, we have two drives, C drive, D drive, and this is DVD drive. Let me close it. Now what I want to do, I just want to map the drive. Let me type PowerShell. Let me open this ISE. All right. So what I will do, I will paste my script over here. All right, I have pasted it. Control C. Let me execute it. Run this script. All right, so what, let's see here. Wow, so we got this file share mapped. Now let me open it. Let me quickly create one file, one text file. Let me give it a name, ABC. Okay, let me save something here. Now this file will be uploaded in this storage account. Let's go to the storage account. In the file share, when we click that file share, we will get this file, abc.txt. Go to file services. Let me open this one. See, we got this file, abc.txt. All right. So guys, let me delete this file and let me delete this file share as well. Let me quickly unmap it. Click on OK. Now let me go to blob services once again and let me create one blob again. So it is already created. Now if I click here, I see few things like few options like acquire lease. So what is this acquire lease? It means when I will click on acquire lease, then what will happen? Nobody will be able to access this container except me. So let's click on acquire lease. So now the lease has been acquired. We have this lease ID. So whosoever has the lease ID will have only access on it. For other people, they won't have access for this container. And if we see here, once we have acquired the lease, see that this delete option is also grayed out. And if we can break this lease option, because what is happening here, when I have acquired the lease, it is for indefinite period unless I will not break it. So let me click on break lease, click on yes. So now the lease has been broken, and now anyone can make the changes in this blob storage. There is one more option like edit metadata. If I click here, what I can do with this, I can write it like owner and I can type in my name that I am the owner. This is for metadata purpose only. Click on save. Now let's discuss about access policies. Now let me click on access policy. Let me create one access policy over here. Click on add. Click on OK. We need to click on save. Now this policy has been created. Now let's see about access keys. So these access keys is the option over here. Actually, we should not share these keys with anyone. If we will share our keys with anyone, then they can have complete control over this account. So we should never share with our keys with anyone. Rather, we can create shared access signatures. Let's create it. Let me remove this delete option, and then I can mention over here that through which IP address this container should be accessed. So to know about my IP address, let me open google.com and let me write it. What is my IP? So this is my public IP, and if I copy and if I paste it over here, and if I click here services container objects, so I can perform all these operations except delete. And if I click on generate slash over here, I will get these keys over here. So I can access this container through this URL and this URL. All right. And programmers can use these connection strings in their programming to access this container. We get 4 URLs one for blob services, file services, queue services, and table services. So whenever programmer would like to connect with this any of these option, he has to use this thing. Now let's go to my blob services once again. I will go to my container and let me upload one more file over here. Let me upload this. So this file has been uploaded, and if I see, I will change it to the private access. Now no one can access it. So if I have to access it through SAS, let me click over here. I will give my IP address over here, and I will click on generate SAS token and the URL. So let me copy over here, copy it, and let me copy this one as well. So I can access this file, although it has a private access, but since I have generated SAS keys and I have the URL, so I can access it now. So this is the URL. We need to copy it here. Yep. So earlier what we observed, when we uploaded this file and it has the access of level as private, we were not able to access it. But with the SAS key, we are able to access it because we have given a public IP address of our laptop. So with this laptop, we are able to access it. All right, let me delete it. Let's go back to our storage account. So guys, we have discussed about the blob services and the file services. Let's give me a small brief about these queue services and the table services as well. So what happens when we talk about queues? So when we talk about queues, we can have multiple messages that can be accumulated in a queue, and it can have a size of maximum 64 KB, and these messages or these texts can be saved in this queue for 7 days only. We cannot have more than 64. But what is the use? So the use is like we see the orders coming in some in some way for some company. So all of a sudden the orders cannot be processed. So what happens is the orders can be saved in a queue, and one by one the orders can be processed. So when the order will be received, it can be received not more than the size of 64 KB, and it can be accumulated in a queue for 7 days. So that is the reference of the queues. And when we talk about tables is like we use for Cosmos database, in which we can store our data, but it is not related to the SQL. It is quite different from the SQL server. All right, so in the last, I would like to discuss about this topic, managed disks versus unmanaged disks. This is also a very important topic when we talk about storage, and we need to understand it, that why we use managed disk and why we use unmanaged disk. So but basically what managed disks are, so managed disks are basically those disks that are managed by Microsoft. Let me show you here. This is my virtual machine that I have created recently. Click here. I will click on disks. So if I see here, this is a managed disk, because when I, at the time of the creation of this virtual machine, I have not selected a storage account that I have created with the name TC East US GRRM. Rather, I selected this option, manage this. So it has automatically, it is not responsibility of Microsoft. It is not managed by us. Now what we can do is, I will show you now. If I have to create one manage disk through GUI, see how we can attach. Now this virtual machine has only 2 disks like we see earlier. Let me show you through computer management. We will open disk management and I will show you. See, this virtual machine Solo 3071 has 2 disks, disk 0, disk 1. Now I am going to create one disk. I am going to add one disk. So if I click here, create, attach a new disk, I can create here. What I see, this is, I will again select the storage type as standard hard disk drive. Here it comes, and maximum size is 32 GB. Let me click on save. Let's see what happens. Okay, I have to give a name to this disk. I have given it a name. Let me give it hard disk 2. Click on save. Now whatsoever disk we will add here, these are all managed disks. It is in the process of creating. It has created as well. Let's see in our server. Let me, okay, I rescan this, but this has also already come. So if you see here, you already got this size of 32 GB. Let me it is already offline state. Let me remove it. Click on this, click on save. Now this disk will be removed. So these disks that we create from here, these are the managed disks. As of now, we have created the hard disk drive, the managed disk drive through GUI. Now let me show you how we can create a managed disk through a script. So if I have to create a managed disk through script, let's create over here, let's say Cloud Shell. I will share the commands with you, and we can see since we have deleted that disk, so we do not have any other disk other than these two hard disk drives. Let this come. See, it is PowerShell. Basically, we have PowerShell and Bash over here. So we will go with the PowerShell script. And with the PowerShell script, now we will create one managed disk over here. Okay. All right. So the source of the script is the Microsoft. Let me open it. So we have taken all these commands from here, but I have just built some different slightly changes according to my environment. So in the first task, we need to create a disk object. So we have used this command, and this is the command for myself because I am going to create a disk object with the location East US, and it would be empty disk, and I will take the size of 10. SKU name will be standard LRS. Let me copy this and paste over here. Let me create. All right. So this command has been successfully executed. Now, once the disk object is created, we need to provision the disk. So for that, this is the command. It is in a resource group tc underscore east USA. Disk name would be disk2. All right. Okay. And we can use this command to verify that the disk has been created or not. So for that, we will use get Azure disk command, and let's see what happens. So disk is created, and we can check that as well. See, this disk with the name disk2 has been created over here in the resource group. Now what we will do, we will attach the disk. But before attaching, let me get the configuration with which VM I need to attach it. So get Azure VM, the resource group is this, and the VM name is Solo3071. So let's do it. Let me configure one variable $VM. It is configured now. Now I will add this disk with this VM as a LUN1. It is the managed disk, data disk ID I have provided, and the disk is disk2. Let me show you. Now it is, let me go to this section. Now what I need to do, I need to update this VM because disk is attached. Now let's see. All right, see the disk 2 has been attached with this VM, and we can verify it from here as well. Now see, this has come. Now we can initialize it and give it a name. Anything we can do with that. So guys, this was my small knowledge that I have shared with you related to Azure storage. So if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe it. If you like my videos, kindly click on like button and share it. Thanks for watching my videos. Thank you.